A millionaire pretending to be poor decides to work at his own hotel and ends up falling in love with the manager. But when he meets her family, he is shocked by what he discovers. Under the guise of Nick, a modest worker, Nicholas Windsor, a wealthy hotel magnate with millions in his bank account, decides to experience his own hotel from a different perspective. After a series of relationships that left him feeling hollow, he's desperate to connect with people who aren't interested in his wealth or status. He's always felt like an outsider to his own employees and hotel guests, despite being the owner. He arrives at the bustling, mid-range hotel he owns in downtown Chicago, where he plans to work for several months as a new employee, observing the inner workings without the weight of his identity influencing how others treat him. From his first day, Nick notices Sarah, the hotel manager, a capable and hardworking woman in her mid-30s. She's warm but firm with the staff, sharp with her ideas, and deeply committed to her work. Her loyalty to the hotel and its guests impresses him immediately. Sarah believes the new hire, Nick, is just another employee hoping to get by with minimal effort. But Nick surprises her with his dedication, sometimes even outworking others. Slowly, Sarah begins to open up to him, and they find common ground in their passion for the hotel and serving the guests well. As they work side by side, their relationship deepens, blurring professional lines. Despite their growing closeness, Nick keeps his true identity hidden. His wealth and privilege feel like a barrier to real connections, and he fears that revealing the truth might ruin everything. However, his love for Sarah becomes genuine and strong, leading him to think about a future together, even contemplating leaving his hidden life as a millionaire behind to start fresh with her. One day, Sarah invites Nick to her family gathering, and he accepts, eager to learn more about her life outside work. But as he steps into her family's world, he finds something that shakes him to his core, stirring up memories and family secrets he never expected. The truth he uncovers leaves him conflicted about his future with Sarah, especially as he realizes how tightly his own life is intertwined with hers in ways neither could have anticipated. At Sarah's family gathering, Nick is struck by how close-knit everyone is, a stark contrast to his own life, where wealth has created emotional distance from his family. The warmth and laughter make him nostalgic, but there's an underlying tension in Sarah's family that he can't quite place. As the evening unfolds, Nick begins to pick up on small hints of resentment and unspoken histories, particularly surrounding Sarah's father, who appears tense and uneasy around him. Sarah's mother, on the other hand, is welcoming, sharing stories about the family's struggles over the years and her pride in Sarah's accomplishments. After the dinner, as Sarah steps away to check on a family pet, her mother leans in and quietly asks Nick a question that makes his heart skip a beat. "You remind me so much of someone. Have we met before?" Nick brushes it off with a smile, saying he just has one of those faces, but internally he's shaken. He's always been careful to remain anonymous, especially in cities like Chicago where his family name occasionally surfaces in business circles. It's possible, he tells himself, that she just recalls him from a past article or photograph. But he also realizes that he's let himself slip, his gestures and mannerisms occasionally slipping back into the well-practiced poise that wealth taught him. He decides to be more cautious. Yet, over the next few weeks, Nick's mind races. He finds himself becoming more protective of Sarah and begins investigating her background more discreetly. One late night at the hotel, while looking over financial ledgers and reports, he stumbles upon a curious financial transaction record from years ago, detailing an old lawsuit and a large, quiet settlement paid by his family's hotel company. His heart drops as he pieces together fragmented memories of his family discussing the incident in hushed voices. It was something they never wanted in the public eye, an old incident of mistreatment toward a longtime employee that, to his knowledge, was settled and forgotten. Feeling troubled, Nick realizes that the family in question must be Sarah's, and he begins connecting dots he wishes weren't there. Sarah's father had worked at the hotel chain decades ago and had suffered a debilitating injury on the job. The settlement allowed Sarah's family to pay for his medical expenses and maintain their lives, but it left deep emotional scars and resentment toward the wealthy family behind the hotel, his family. Nick faces a gut-wrenching dilemma. He's fallen deeply in love with Sarah, but he's now all too aware of the pain his family's company caused hers. Torn between his love for Sarah and his family's legacy, he grows distant and avoids her. Sarah, hurt by his sudden coldness, confronts him one evening after work, desperate to understand why he's pulling away. The tension escalates as Nick realizes he can't keep lying. He wrestles with revealing the truth about his identity and the history that links their families. This revelation, he fears, could not only ruin their relationship, but also shatter the trust and love that Sarah has developed for him. Still, unable to hold back any longer, Nick finally tells her everything. The truth of his identity, the wealth he's hidden from her, and the complicated history between his family and hers. Sarah is devastated. She feels betrayed, not only by his secrecy but also by the fact that the man she's fallen for is part of the family that indirectly caused her father's suffering. She needs time to process, and Nick, heartbroken, decides to give her space. He wonders if there's any path to reconciliation or if the weight of family history is simply too heavy to bear. In the coming days, Sarah is torn between her love for Nick and the resentment she holds toward his family. Her family's pain has been a defining part of her life, but so has her love for Nick. She finds herself at a crossroads, contemplating forgiveness, but uncertain if Nick's actions, though unintended, can ever be truly forgotten. In the weeks that follow, Nick and Sarah drift into a tense silence, each of them grappling with the revelation in their own way. Sarah withdraws from him entirely, immersing herself in work to avoid confronting her conflicting feelings. Nick, meanwhile, feels helpless. He's torn between respecting her need for space and desperately wanting to make things right. He's even more isolated now, as the hotel staff are beginning to notice his strained relationship with their manager. Though they don't know the full story, Nick decides to take matters into his own hands and embarks on a mission to better understand Sarah's father's story. He uncovers more about the incident, learning about the company culture at the time and the neglect that led to the accident. It pains him to realize the deep-rooted systemic issues his family's hotel chain once had, and the extent of his family's failure to provide proper care and compensation beyond the quiet settlement. Determined to make amends, he decides to meet with Sarah's father in person, hoping it will bring some sense of closure. The meeting is fraught with tension, as Nick introduces himself truthfully for the first time. Sarah's father, though initially angered, is composed and quietly dignified. He recounts the years of frustration and struggle his injury caused, both for himself and for his family. Nick listens, humbled and guilt-ridden, as he hears the full scope of the hardship his family's negligence inflicted. In a gesture of genuine apology, Nick offers to finance a fund for former employees like him, setting up a program to ensure long-term support for those whose lives were impacted by the company's previous mismanagement. To his surprise, Sarah's father remains wary, advising him that actions will speak louder than words. It's a cautious acceptance, but one that offers Nick a glimmer of hope. He returns to the hotel, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. This isn't about winning Sarah back, he realizes, but about making meaningful changes that will prevent such injustices in the future. At the same time, Sarah feels conflicted as she learns about Nick's efforts. Her family begins to notice his commitment, and her father admits that Nick seems sincere, even if his actions can't undo the past. Despite her anger, she can't ignore her lingering feelings for Nick and the good he's trying to achieve. One late evening, Nick and Sarah run into each other at the hotel lobby. A silent, heavy pause lingers between them before Sarah finally speaks. She admits that she's seen what he's been doing, and while she's still uncertain about the future, she appreciates his efforts to make things right. They talk late into the night, openly and vulnerably, breaking down the walls they had built. Nick doesn't push for forgiveness but expresses his gratitude for her listening and his hope that he can earn her trust, even if it takes a lifetime. From that point forward, they slowly rebuild their relationship. The weight of their family's histories doesn't vanish, but it becomes a part of the shared journey they undertake together. As Nick implements changes within his company, prioritizing transparency and employee well-being, he earns Sarah's respect once again. She begins to see the man beyond the wealth and family name, rediscovering the person she fell in love with. Through small gestures, honest communication, and patience, Nick and Sarah allow themselves to heal, both individually and together. Their love story becomes a testament to growth, forgiveness, and the belief that people can change. And while neither of them forgets the past, they find a way to carry it forward with strength, committed to building a future that honors the struggles they've endured. Nick and Sarah continue to work side by side at the hotel, but their relationship is marked by a delicate blend of professional respect and lingering personal tension. They find comfort in routine tasks, exchanging quick glances and subtle gestures that convey more than words could. The staff notices that the two are more in sync than ever, yet there's a gravity to their interactions that hints at a deeper understanding and a mutual, unspoken effort to move forward. Meanwhile, Nick's commitment to restructuring his family's hotel empire gains traction. He hosts employee meetings to discuss ideas for improving the work environment, holds open forums to listen to grievances, and spearheads initiatives for medical and mental health support. The staff begins to see him less as a privileged outsider and more as a genuine advocate for change. This transformation isn't lost on Sarah, who watches him work tirelessly to right past wrongs and foster an atmosphere of trust and transparency. Sarah's family also begins to feel the impact of Nick's changes. Her father, once skeptical, grows cautiously optimistic as he witnesses the tangible improvements in employee welfare. He opens up to Sarah, sharing stories of his time at the hotel in its early days, and expresses his cautious hope that Nick's reforms will ensure no one else endures what he did. His guarded acceptance of Nick speaks volumes, and Sarah feels a renewed sense of peace knowing her father's painful history is acknowledged, respected, and being actively addressed. As Nick and Sarah's relationship deepens once again, they find solace in each other's presence, finally able to speak openly about their fears, hopes, and dreams. They take slow steps back into each other's lives, knowing that this second chance is built on a stronger, more honest foundation. One evening, Nick surprises Sarah with a proposal, not a romantic one, but a business idea. He suggests they open a new hotel branch together, one that reflects their shared values of integrity, compassion, and transparency. He wants her to be his partner, both professionally and personally, and she's moved by the gesture. Together, they design a hotel that becomes a model for fair practices, putting employees' well-being at the forefront and ensuring every decision reflects the lessons learned from their shared past. Their relationship continues to grow, strengthened by their shared purpose and respect for each other's pasts. Eventually, Nick proposes for real, this time in a quiet moment at the hotel, surrounded by the people they've come to call family. Sarah accepts, knowing that she's chosen not just a partner, but someone who's fought to rebuild a legacy in the name of love, healing, and justice. As they embark on this next chapter together, they carry with them the lessons learned from hardship, family, and forgiveness. They both understand that their journey will always be shaped by the past, but together, they've transformed it into something hopeful and enduring. Their love story becomes one not just of romance but of redemption and the resilience to build a new future, hand in hand. With their engagement official, Nick and Sarah set out to turn their vision of a new hotel into a reality. They face numerous challenges along the way, from skeptical investors to competitors who doubt their unconventional approach, but their resilience and commitment to building a people-centered business keep them motivated. The new hotel's concept attracts attention and support from allies who believe in their vision, and soon, they're breaking ground on a property in a diverse, bustling neighborhood that needs new life and job opportunities. As construction progresses, Nick takes Sarah's family on a tour of the new hotel site. Her father, still carrying the remnants of his painful memories, is touched to see Nick involving them at every stage, especially in decisions related to worker safety and accessibility. It's a personal gesture that finally allows her father to see Nick as someone who's genuinely committed to change, not just for Sarah, but for everyone who's been affected by his family's company in the past. The visit proves to be a healing experience, and Sarah's father surprises Nick by offering him a piece of advice. Trust the people you've hired, and give them the chance to prove themselves, just like you did. As the opening day approaches, Nick and Sarah hold a special ceremony to honor the journey it took to reach this point. They invite former employees who suffered under the old system, thanking them for their resilience and recognizing their role in shaping the new hotel's values. This event brings tears to Sarah's eyes. She realizes that the hotel represents more than just a fresh start for her and Nick. It's a bridge to a new legacy, one that redefines what his family's name stands for. The hotel finally opens its doors, filled with staff members trained not only in hospitality but also in wellness practices and personal development. The design prioritizes employee-friendly workspaces, and there's a community room where staff and guests can connect, promoting a sense of belonging that Nick and Sarah have long dreamed of. The hotel is an instant success, beloved by guests and staff alike, who appreciate the values it represents. In their personal lives, Nick and Sarah grow even closer, sharing both professional achievements and private moments of laughter and comfort. Their bond is now unbreakable, built on trust, growth, and shared purpose. Despite the obstacles they've overcome, they look forward to a future filled with endless possibilities. Together. And as they stand together on the rooftop of their new hotel, overlooking the cityscape at night, they know they've created something truly meaningful, both in business and in love. They've not only rewritten their own stories, but have also redefined what it means to carry forward a legacy, proving that even the most painful histories can give rise to new beginnings. After the grand opening, Nick and Sarah's hotel quickly gains a reputation as a trailblazer in the industry, attracting attention for its unique approach to employee care and guest engagement. Major hospitality publications feature their story, focusing on how they've used past mistakes to create something genuinely transformative. Nick's family, once skeptical, begins to appreciate the direction he's taken, understanding that this new legacy not only redeems their name but also inspires positive changes across the industry. Other hotel owners start adopting some of the policies Nick and Sarah have pioneered, and soon the ripple effect of their work spreads beyond the walls of their hotel. Sarah's family becomes regulars at the hotel, often visiting just to enjoy the space they feel is as much theirs as anyone's. Her father, who once thought he'd never walk into one of these hotels again, becomes an unofficial ambassador for their story, proudly sharing the transformation he's witnessed with anyone who will listen. He even leads talks for employees, telling his story and encouraging them to take pride in their work and stand up for what they believe in. A role he never imagined for himself, but one that feels right. In time, Nick and Sarah's influence expands further. They establish a foundation aimed at helping injured or displaced workers in various industries, advocating for fair treatment and better working conditions. This foundation provides resources, counseling, and financial assistance to workers and families affected by workplace injuries. It becomes one of their most meaningful achievements, reflecting their belief that businesses must give back to the communities they serve. Their relationship, too, deepens with each passing year. The challenges they face together have taught them to cherish even the smallest moments, and they build a life filled with warmth, laughter, and mutual respect. They eventually decide to start a family, raising their children with the same values of empathy, hard work, and resilience that have come to define their lives. They often bring their children to the hotel, teaching them the importance of respecting everyone, from the staff to the guests. Looking back on their journey, Nick and Sarah know that they've turned a painful legacy into something beautiful and lasting. They've proven that love, integrity, and the courage to change can overcome even the deepest divides. As they walk through the bustling hotel lobby hand in hand, surrounded by the vibrant life of the place they built together, they feel a deep, abiding sense of peace and fulfillment, knowing that they've created a legacy of hope, unity, and enduring love. As the hotel's reputation solidifies, Nick and Sarah become leaders in a growing movement within the hospitality industry. They travel across the country, invited to speak at conferences, business schools, and industry events, sharing the story of their transformation and advocating for more ethical practices in business. Their message resonates widely, inspiring other companies to rethink their values and prioritize people over profit. Some of these businesses face resistance to change, but Nick and Sarah's success provides a compelling case for a more compassionate, employee-focused approach. At one particularly memorable event, Nick is invited to speak before a crowd of thousands at a conference for global business leaders. Standing on stage, He speaks candidly about his family's history and the mistakes that were made, using himself as an example of how personal responsibility and humility can drive meaningful change. The speech makes waves, and for days afterward, articles flood the internet, praising his transparency and courage. For Sarah, watching him take accountability and openly embrace the mistakes of the past is an emotional experience, cementing her admiration for him and the journey they've undertaken together. Back at the hotel, life continues at a vibrant pace. The hotel becomes a beloved local landmark, hosting community events, charity galas, and cultural festivals. Sarah personally oversees a program for local artists to display their work throughout the hotel, turning every corner into a celebration of the community's unique talent. Guests comment on the warmth and character of the place, finding it refreshingly different from the impersonal hotels they're used to. Many come to the hotel simply because they've heard of its story, a place built on redemption and reinvention. One winter, they decide to expand their efforts even further by opening a training institute within the hotel. The institute offers courses and workshops for underprivileged youth, focusing on hospitality skills, customer service, and leadership training. It quickly becomes popular among young people looking to enter the industry, especially those who wouldn't otherwise have access to such resources. Sarah's idea is to make sure that the hotel industry becomes more inclusive and accessible, giving more people a pathway to success. The Training Institute becomes one of Sarah's proudest accomplishments, and she often spends her weekends mentoring the students herself, taking joy in seeing them grow and thrive. The students, in turn, are inspired by her story and the unique, transformative path she took to reach her success. Many of them, especially those who come from backgrounds of hardship, look up to her as both a mentor and a role model, and Sarah finds herself humbled by the trust and admiration they place in her. As the years pass, Nick and Sarah's legacy only grows. Their family foundation expands to fund projects that support mental health resources, worker safety research, and advocacy for fair labor practices. The hotel itself becomes a model that inspires a new generation of business owners to consider the human impact of their work. Sarah's father, whose life was once marred by his injury and its repercussions, becomes an honorary board member of the foundation, his insights and experiences shaping their approach to helping others. He's able to find peace knowing that his struggles have directly influenced such positive change, and his relationship with Nick evolves into one of mutual respect and friendship. Eventually, Nick and Sarah's hotel group grows to include other locations across the country, each one built with the same care, empathy, and ethical practices that made their first hotel a success. They stay true to their values, refusing to compromise on the principles that define them, and their new hotels quickly earn reputations for both high quality and social responsibility. Through all of this, Nick and Sarah never lose sight of the importance of their own relationship. They make time for each other amidst their busy schedules, sharing quiet dinners, late-night conversations, and walks through the city that once felt like an emotional battlefield but now feels like home. Their children grow up surrounded by the values they hold dear, learning that success isn't measured by wealth or status, but by integrity, compassion, and the positive impact they make on the world. On their 10th wedding anniversary, Nick surprises Sarah with a small, intimate gathering at their original hotel, where it all began. Friends, family, staff, and even some of the guests who have become regulars over the years join them in celebrating their journey. Sarah's father gives a toast, expressing his gratitude for the way they turned his family's story from one of pain into one of hope and renewal. Tears fill Sarah's eyes as she looks around the room, seeing all the lives that have been touched by the hotel they created together. As they stand together, watching their guests mingle, laugh, and enjoy the warmth of the place they've built, Nick and Sarah feel an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. They know that the road they chose wasn't an easy one, but it was undoubtedly the right one. Together, they've managed to reshape not only their own lives but the lives of countless others, creating a legacy that will endure long after they're gone. Years later, when their children are grown, Nick and Sarah retire from the daily operations of the hotel group, leaving it in the capable hands of trusted partners and family. They continue to be involved in the foundation, traveling to oversee projects, spending time with old friends, and mentoring young leaders. Their love remains as strong as ever, shaped by years of shared challenges, triumphs, and the deep understanding that their lives have become inseparable from the mission they began. They often return to the original hotel, now a symbol of resilience and redemption, and stroll through its hallways, reminiscing about the journey that brought them together. Their story has become a part of the hotel's lore, passed down from one generation of staff to the next, inspiring others to believe in second chances, in growth, and in the power of love to overcome even the deepest of wounds. And so, their legacy lives on, woven into the very fabric of the place they created, standing as a testament to the power of compassion, determination, and the unbreakable bond they forged through every triumph and trial. In the years that follow, the original hotel becomes a cherished institution in the city, a place known for its welcoming atmosphere, its devotion to the local community, and the inspiring story of Nick and Sarah. The couple remains beloved by their staff and guests alike, not only for their generosity but for their hands-on approach. Unlike most hotel owners, they continue to be actively involved, often seen working alongside employees or chatting with guests in the lobby, a habit that keeps them grounded and close to the people they serve. One winter holiday season, the hotel is filled to capacity, its lobby decorated with lights, wreaths, and a large, warmly lit Christmas tree that has become a favorite for guests' family photos. Nick and Sarah are hosting a holiday celebration for their staff, an annual tradition that's become a highlight for everyone involved. As they make their rounds, speaking with each member of the team and their families, Nick reflects on how much things have changed since he first set foot in this hotel as an undercover employee. He remembers the sense of loneliness and confusion he once felt, and how meeting Sarah turned his world upside down, giving him a purpose he never knew he needed. During the celebration, Sarah gives a short speech, sharing memories of the hotel's early days and expressing her gratitude to the staff and their families. As she speaks, Nick watches her with admiration, marveling at the strength, compassion, and resilience that have come to define her. In her, he found not just a partner but a guiding force, someone who challenged him to become the best version of himself. Her words resonate deeply with everyone in the room, a mix of heartfelt sincerity and humor that reminds them of why they've stayed by her side all these years. After her speech, Nick takes her hand, leading her onto the terrace overlooking the city lights. They share a quiet moment together, reflecting on all they've accomplished and the impact their work has had on their lives and the lives of others. The city stretches out below them, bustling and bright, but up on the terrace, it feels as if they are in their own world. Nick pulls Sarah close, his voice soft as he tells her, "None of this would have happened without you." As they hold each other, Sarah thinks back on the journey they've shared, filled with moments of doubt, anger, forgiveness, and love. She never imagined that her life would intertwine with the very family that had once caused her own such pain. Yet somehow, through all the struggle, they'd managed to transform that history into a powerful force for good. The years that follow see Nick and Sarah's influence continue to grow. Their story attracts more media attention, sparking conversations around the role of businesses in their communities and the importance of ethical leadership. They become mentors to young entrepreneurs who look up to them, seeking advice on how to build businesses that prioritize people over profit. Nick, once a man defined by wealth and privilege, becomes known for his humility and dedication to the cause, a transformation that inspires countless others to reevaluate their own paths. With each new hotel they open, they ensure that the values they built together remain intact. Every new location is designed to serve the local community, offering jobs, training, and support to those who need it most. They bring in local artists, promote small businesses in their shops, and host events that celebrate the unique cultures of each area. The hotels become known as much for their beauty and luxury as for their welcoming, inclusive atmospheres, a rarity in an industry often driven by profit margins. Their children, growing up in this environment, learn firsthand the importance of integrity, compassion, and service. Nick and Sarah take them to visit the Foundation's projects, showing them the impact that even a single act of kindness can have. The kids grow up surrounded by people from all walks of life, learning to value hard work, respect, and empathy. As they get older, each of them finds ways to contribute to their parents' mission, bringing fresh perspectives and new ideas that continue to push the family legacy forward. One summer, Sarah organizes a large fundraising gala at the original hotel, inviting former employees, beneficiaries of the foundation, and members of the community to celebrate the achievements they've made together. It's an emotional evening, filled with speeches, laughter, and stories from people whose lives have been changed by Nick and Sarah's work. Many of them stand up to share personal accounts of how the couple's influence has given them opportunities they never thought possible. At the end of the night, Nick surprises Sarah with a small, personal gift, an old photograph he found from the early days of the hotel, showing the two of them working together on one of their first projects. The picture captures the early spark between them, a reminder of how far they've come. Sarah laughs, touched, and they share a quiet moment, realizing that every challenge, every hardship, and every triumph has brought them closer, both as partners and as individuals. Years turn into decades, and Nick and Sarah's work continues to flourish, their story becoming something of a legend within the community. Their original hotel is eventually designated a historical landmark, celebrated for its impact and its unique place in the city's history. Tourists and locals alike come to see the place where it all began, inspired by the couple's legacy and the values that defined it. As they grow older, Nick and Sarah step back from their roles, passing the torch to their children and trusted partners, who carry on the mission with the same dedication and heart. They spend their days traveling, exploring new places, and enjoying the life they've built together. In the evenings, they often return to the original hotel, sitting together on the terrace, watching the city lights, and reminiscing about the journey that brought them here. Their love story, once shaped by secrets, pain, and history, becomes a testament to resilience, growth, and the power of forgiveness. Nick and Sarah's legacy lives on through their family, their foundation, and the countless lives they touched along the way. And though their story might one day be forgotten by the world, it remains etched into the walls of the hotel they built, a permanent reminder that love, empathy, and change can overcome even the deepest of divides. As the years continue to pass, the foundation Nick and Sarah established expands its reach, becoming one of the most prominent philanthropic organizations in the country. Its impact spans multiple industries, from hospitality to manufacturing, providing resources, advocacy, and support for worker safety, healthcare, and fair labor practices. The foundation gains international attention, even influencing legislation that ensures better working conditions across various sectors. Nick and Sarah's mission, to transform a painful legacy into a force for good, becomes a beacon of hope and a model for businesses around the world. In their personal lives, Nick and Sarah find joy in a quieter routine, one filled with the simple pleasures they both came to appreciate. Morning coffees together, long walks through the city, and regular visits with their children and grandchildren. They enjoy sharing stories of the hotel's beginnings with their grandchildren, recounting the early days when everything seemed uncertain. Their love for each other grows deeper, rooted in decades of shared dreams, challenges, and triumphs. Friends and family admire their bond, seeing them not just as business icons, but as a couple whose love and resilience inspire everyone around them. The original hotel remains at the heart of their legacy. Each anniversary, Nick and Sarah host a celebration there, inviting employees, former beneficiaries, and community members who have been part of their journey. These gatherings become legendary, bringing together people from all walks of life who share in the success and spirit of the place. The anniversary events aren't extravagant affairs but heartfelt, intimate gatherings where stories are exchanged and memories are celebrated. For Nick and Sarah, these gatherings are reminders of the lives they've touched and the family they've created through their work. As their influence grows, Nick and Sarah find themselves stepping into roles they never anticipated. They're invited to speak at universities, where they lecture on business ethics, philanthropy, and leadership. Their story becomes a case study in business schools, and they're asked to mentor young entrepreneurs and philanthropists who seek to make a meaningful impact. They become advocates for ethical leadership, traveling across the country to meet with CEOs and policymakers, urging them to adopt practices that prioritize employee welfare, sustainability, and social responsibility. Their children, having inherited their parents' values, play active roles in expanding the foundation's efforts. Each of them brings a unique perspective to the work, creating new programs that address contemporary issues such as climate change, diversity in the workplace, and mental health resources for employees. Nick and Sarah's legacy becomes a multi-generational effort, with their children and grandchildren continuing the mission with the same passion and dedication that defined the couple's own lives. One winter, Nick and Sarah receive a letter from a young woman named Elena, who shares that she stayed at their original hotel as a child when her family was going through difficult times. She writes about how the warmth and kindness of the staff helped her family feel safe and supported, even during their darkest days. Inspired by her experience, Elena grew up wanting to work in hospitality, eventually becoming a hotel manager who prioritizes compassion and care for her employees. She thanks Nick and Sarah for creating a place that not only provided comfort to her family but inspired her life's purpose. Elena's letter touches Nick and Sarah deeply, reminding them that their work has had an impact far beyond what they could have ever imagined. The hotel is no longer just a building or a business. It's a symbol of hope and change, a place where people find not only comfort but inspiration to better their own lives and the lives of others. The couple keeps Elena's letter framed on their wall, a testament to the power of kindness and the ripple effect of a single act of compassion. In their later years, Nick and Sarah spend their days traveling together, enjoying the slower pace of life. They visit the other hotels they've opened across the country, watching with pride as each location flourishes, staffed by people who believe in the values they helped establish. Each hotel has its own character, reflecting the unique spirit of its community, yet all share a common mission: to create a space where guests and employees alike feel valued, respected, and seen. One spring evening, Nick and Sarah return to their original hotel for a quiet dinner. The staff greets them warmly, many of whom have worked there since the early days, their loyalty a testament to the couple's impact. They take a seat by a window overlooking the city, reminiscing about the journey that brought them here. They talk about the challenges they faced, the mistakes they made, and the love that helped them grow. Nick holds Sarah's hand, marveling at how the twists and turns of life led him to the one person who changed everything. As they sit together, watching the city lights flicker against the night sky, they feel a profound sense of peace. They know they've left behind more than just a successful business. They've created a legacy of love, compassion, and transformation. Their story, once defined by struggle and pain, has become a testament to the power of resilience and the beauty of second chances. They take comfort in knowing that their journey will continue through the lives they've touched, the values they've instilled, and the family they've built together. Their love, deeply rooted in forgiveness, growth, and shared purpose, becomes an inspiration for generations to come. And as they sit in their beloved hotel, surrounded by the life they've created together, they know they've achieved something truly rare and beautiful. A legacy that will live on, not only in the walls of the hotel, but in the hearts of everyone who has ever walked through its doors. As the seasons change, the original hotel and the foundation's work remain integral to the community and the lives of all those involved. The hotel's reputation as a place of warmth, renewal, and care draws more visitors each year, each one touched by its unique approach. Guests often leave with more than memories. They depart with stories of kindness, respect, and connection. The hotel becomes a beloved landmark, one that people visit not only for its accommodations, but to feel a part of something larger, something built on compassion and healing. Nick and Sarah, now in their later years, continue to find purpose in their foundation's work. They attend local events, visit shelters and youth centers, and provide scholarships for employees' families, ensuring that the legacy they've created isn't just a distant concept but a living, breathing force in the community. They're no longer just Mr. and Mrs. Windsor. They're seen as community pillars, symbols of resilience and dedication. For them, each new project, each scholarship awarded, and each family supported brings a profound sense of fulfillment. The foundation's work expands internationally, reaching communities that face the same challenges Nick and Sarah once addressed locally. They establish programs in other countries, where they work to improve labor practices, create safe workplaces, and provide access to healthcare and education for workers in industries that often lack these resources. Through their international projects, they bring together people from different cultures and backgrounds, all united by a shared mission. Their foundation becomes a global symbol of hope, setting a new standard for corporate responsibility and social impact. One day, they receive an invitation to attend an international summit focused on ethical business practices, where they're honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award for their contributions. The event brings together leaders from around the world, and Nick and Sarah stand before an audience of thousands, humbled by the recognition but more so by the reminder of the journey that led them here. In his acceptance speech, Nick reflects on the importance of responsibility, redemption, and using privilege to uplift others. He speaks from the heart, recalling the difficult path he and Sarah took, and how their love and shared purpose turned pain into a catalyst for positive change. After the summit, they take a moment to themselves, stepping outside to breathe in the fresh air and reflect on all they've accomplished together. They share a quiet moment, hand in hand, feeling a deep connection to each other and to the countless lives they've impacted. They understand that their legacy goes far beyond awards or accolades. It's in the lives they've touched and the hope they've inspired in others. Meanwhile, their children carry on their mission, each contributing to the foundation and the hotel group in their unique ways. Their eldest daughter, an accomplished architect, designs eco-friendly hotel structures that reflect the company's commitment to sustainability. Their son, a compassionate leader, oversees employee training programs, ensuring that every worker feels valued and respected. Their youngest daughter, inspired by her mother's work, manages outreach programs in underserved communities. Together, they expand the family legacy, each one adding their own touch to the work that began with Nick and Sarah's vision. As time goes on, Nick and Sarah grow more contemplative, finding joy in smaller moments. Sunset walks, family dinners, quiet evenings spent reading together. They take comfort in the knowledge that their life's work is in capable hands and that their legacy will endure through the lives of their children and grandchildren. Their family has grown into a close-knit, multi-generational force for good, bonded by the shared values of compassion, responsibility, and a commitment to positive change. One fall, they celebrate the 50th anniversary of the original hotel's founding. The hotel hosts a grand celebration, attended by friends, family, employees, and community members who've been part of the journey. Former staff members, some of whom have since moved on to other careers, return to share stories of their time working with Nick and Sarah, recounting memories of laughter, growth, and mentorship. Local leaders give speeches, honoring the impact Nick and Sarah have had on the community and acknowledging the ripple effect their actions have had on the industry at large. During the celebration, Nick and Sarah are presented with a plaque that will hang permanently in the hotel lobby, engraved with a message that captures their journey. In honor of Nick and Sarah Windsor, whose love and dedication transformed lives, built a community, and created a legacy of hope, compassion, and resilience. May their story inspire all who walk through these doors. Looking at the plaque, Nick and Sarah feel overwhelmed by the love and support surrounding them. They take a moment to address the crowd, thanking everyone who's been part of their journey and expressing their gratitude for the friendships, partnerships, and memories that have shaped their lives. Sarah's voice breaks slightly as she speaks, but her words carry the wisdom of years, and the crowd listens in respectful silence. Nick, standing beside her, feels a surge of pride and love, grateful for every moment they've shared, every challenge they've overcome, and every dream they've turned into reality. After the celebration, they retreat to a private corner of the hotel, where they sit together, reflecting on the incredible journey they've undertaken. They talk about the ups and downs, the unexpected turns, and the way their love carried them through it all. They know that their legacy isn't just a business or a foundation. It's a story of two people who chose to turn pain into purpose, who worked tirelessly to leave the world a better place than they found it. In the years that follow, Nick and Sarah step back from public life, finding peace in the quiet moments of retirement. They remain active in their foundation, advising their children and grandchildren, who carry the torch forward with the same passion and dedication. Their lives are filled with family gatherings, moments of laughter, and the joy of watching their legacy continue to grow through the next generation. As they spend their final years together, they find comfort in the enduring love they share and the knowledge that their journey has left a lasting impact on the world. Their story, one of redemption, resilience, and transformation, becomes an inspiration for future generations. And though they know their time is drawing to a close, they're at peace, content in the knowledge that their love, their work, and their legacy will continue to touch lives long after they're gone. Their hotel, now an iconic symbol of compassion and integrity, stands as a testament to their journey, a place where people find hope, comfort, and connection. And every visitor who walks through its doors, every employee who finds meaning in their work, and every community member touched by their foundation becomes part of the legacy Nick and Sarah built. A legacy that will live on for generations to come, reminding the world that love, forgiveness, and the courage to change can create a legacy as enduring as the strongest foundations. As the years continue, the original hotel transforms into more than just a renowned landmark. It becomes a symbol of hope and transformation for everyone who steps through its doors. For Nick and Sarah, each visit to the hotel brings a flood of memories, reminders of how their lives intertwined here and how their journey evolved from misunderstanding and distance to mutual respect and love. They often find themselves sitting in the lobby, observing the life buzzing around them, each visitor and staff member a part of the hotel's growing story. One day, a young couple approaches them. They introduce themselves as recent hires, excited to join the team. The woman, clearly nervous yet earnest, mentions she'd read about Nick and Sarah's story in a business magazine and that it inspired her to pursue a career in hospitality. She thanks them both for creating an environment where staff feel valued and guests feel welcomed as family. Nick and Sarah smile, humbled and warmed by her words. These interactions, while frequent now, never lose their impact. Each one reminds them of the power of compassion, of treating people not as employees or customers, but as individuals worthy of respect and care. The hotel also becomes a gathering place for the community. Artists host workshops in the hotel studio spaces, local musicians perform in the lobby during weekends, and nonprofit groups hold meetings in the conference rooms. Every year, the hotel sponsors a charity gala, raising funds for causes ranging from education to environmental conservation. Nick and Sarah, now celebrated philanthropists, enjoy these events, using them as opportunities to connect with the community and reflect on the diverse network of people their hotel has brought together. One summer evening, while hosting an employee appreciation event, Sarah catches a glimpse of her father's photograph hanging in a special alcove dedicated to staff who've significantly contributed to the hotel's mission. Her father, who had initially harbored resentment toward Nick's family, had eventually embraced the hotel's mission and had become one of its greatest champions. His story is now part of the hotel's legacy, his life and struggles forever honored within the walls of the place that changed his family's destiny. For Sarah, this corner of the hotel, adorned with photographs of her father and others who've shaped its history, is a poignant reminder of the journey that brought them here. Their family foundation continues to grow, creating lasting change in industries beyond hospitality. Through advocacy work and partnerships with governments and corporations, the foundation champions policies for fair wages, workplace safety, and mental health resources. Nick and Sarah's children, deeply involved in the foundation's mission, each take on a specific cause that resonates with them, leading initiatives that address issues like gender equality, environmental sustainability, and education for underserved communities. Together, the family's work leaves an indelible mark on the lives of workers worldwide, offering them a voice and support in ways once unheard of. Every few months, the foundation invites individuals who have benefited from its programs to share their stories. These gatherings, held at the original hotel, are intimate affairs, filled with testimonials of perseverance and hope. One evening, a man shares his story of working in difficult conditions overseas, and how the foundation's intervention led to sweeping reforms in his industry. His gratitude moves the room, and as Nick and Sarah listen, They feel humbled by the far-reaching effects of their work. It becomes clear that their story, once deeply personal, has grown to touch lives across continents. In the later years of their lives, Nick and Sarah begin writing a memoir together, chronicling their journey from those first awkward interactions at the hotel to the family legacy they've built. The memoir isn't just a business story. It's a deeply personal reflection on love, resilience, and the courage to change. They write candidly about the mistakes they made, the lessons they learned, and the people who inspired them along the way. When the book is published, it quickly becomes a bestseller, resonating with readers around the world. Young entrepreneurs, social advocates, and everyday people find themselves inspired by the honesty and humanity in their story. Their book launch, held in the hotel's grand ballroom, is attended by hundreds of supporters, friends, and family members. The event feels more like a family reunion, with familiar faces from every chapter of their lives present, all celebrating the couple's incredible journey. Nick and Sarah sign copies of the book for hours, each signature a thank you to those who supported them through their transformation. As they look around the room, they're reminded of the countless people who've been part of their story, each one a contributor to the legacy they've built. In their final years, Nick and Sarah pass the management of their hotels and foundation to their children, who continue the work with dedication and innovation. Retired from the daily operations, Nick and Sarah now travel to meet with communities they've supported, share their story at small events, and enjoy their growing family. They have grandchildren now, each one taught the values of empathy, resilience, and kindness that Nick and Sarah hold dear. They delight in watching their family grow, seeing their legacy continue through each new generation. Their grandchildren, hearing stories of the hotel's beginnings, are fascinated by the tales of transformation, resilience, and love that define their grandparents' lives. They often ask Nick and Sarah to tell stories of the old days and the challenges they overcame. Nick and Sarah smile, recounting the hardships, the triumphs, and the unforgettable moments that shaped who they are. For them, these family stories are more valuable than any material wealth. They're the real legacy, passed down from one generation to the next, reminding each family member of their roots and the importance of compassion. One autumn evening, Nick and Sarah visit the original hotel for what they know may be the last time. They walk through its familiar halls, greeting staff members and exchanging smiles with guests who recognize them. They make their way to the rooftop terrace, where they often spent quiet moments together, watching the city skyline. They sit side by side, reflecting on the extraordinary journey they've shared. They know that their work will continue, carried on by their children and the countless people they've inspired. But in this moment, it's just the two of them, together as they were at the very beginning. As the sun sets, casting a warm glow over the city, they feel an overwhelming sense of peace. They've built something beautiful, something lasting, a legacy of love, compassion, and hope. And as they sit together, hand in hand, they know that they've fulfilled their purpose, not only for themselves but for the countless lives they've touched along the way. Their story, passed down through the generations, becomes a family legend, a reminder that even the deepest wounds can be healed, that love can overcome even the most profound divides, and that compassion, resilience, and integrity can create a legacy that will endure forever. As Nick and Sarah's lives wind down, the legacy they built together continues to flourish, impacting not only their family but also countless communities worldwide. The foundation, now managed by their children and a dedicated board, has grown into a global entity. It champions causes ranging from environmental sustainability to healthcare access, focusing on uplifting underserved communities and advocating for ethical business practices. The organization has opened centers across several continents, each named after values Nick and Sarah hold dear: integrity, resilience, compassion, and unity. The original hotel, now a historic landmark, becomes a site of pilgrimage for those who see Nick and Sarah's story as an inspiration. Students, business leaders, activists, and even young couples visit, hoping to draw inspiration from the journey that transformed not just a hotel but the lives of thousands. The hotel lobby features a tribute wall where guests and visitors leave messages about how the story of the Windsors has inspired them. The wall is covered with heartfelt notes, letters, and photographs, a tapestry of lives that have been touched by Nick and Sarah's legacy. Every year, on the anniversary of the hotel's founding, the family holds a celebration open to the public. The event attracts people from all walks of life, many of whom share stories of how the foundation's programs and the hotel's ethos have helped them rebuild their lives. Local musicians perform, community leaders give speeches, and guests from around the world gather to celebrate not only the hotel's success but the values it represents. During one such anniversary, a former employee, now a successful entrepreneur, stands up to share his story. He recounts how he joined the hotel as a young man struggling with addiction and how the support programs Nick and Sarah implemented helped him get back on his feet. Today, he runs his own business inspired by the principles he learned during his time at the hotel. His story moves the room to tears, and Nick and Sarah feel an immense pride knowing that their work has helped shape lives in ways they could have never foreseen. As they grow older, Nick and Sarah take more time to enjoy the simple things in life. They spend their days gardening, going on long drives through the countryside, and hosting family dinners filled with laughter and joy. Their grandchildren, who've grown up hearing stories of their grandparents' incredible journey, are inspired to follow in their footsteps. Some choose to join the family business, while others pursue their own paths, always carrying with them the values of empathy, resilience, and service that Nick and Sarah instilled. One summer, Sarah suggests organizing a family retreat at the original hotel. They gather their children, grandchildren, and extended family members for a week of reflection, bonding, and storytelling. Each evening, they sit together in the hotel's courtyard, sharing memories and revisiting the journey that brought their family together. The younger generations ask questions, eager to learn about the challenges and triumphs their grandparents faced. Nick and Sarah, feeling a deep sense of contentment, share stories of resilience and forgiveness, of love tested and strengthened over time. At the end of the week, they hold a private ceremony to commemorate the family's legacy. Nick and Sarah plant a tree in the hotel's courtyard, symbolizing the enduring nature of their values. They know that, like this tree, their legacy will continue to grow and flourish, providing shelter, hope, and inspiration to those who need it most. Their children and grandchildren help plant the tree, each adding a handful of soil as a promise to carry forward the family's mission. As the years pass, the original hotel remains a vital part of the city's heart. It becomes more than just a place to stay. It's a gathering point for community events, charity galas, and educational workshops. The hotel sponsors programs for local youth, offering mentorship and training opportunities, and it opens its doors to refugees, providing temporary housing and support services for those in need. Nick and Sarah's story continues to inspire, and the hotel becomes a sanctuary for those seeking a fresh start. A reminder that anyone can find redemption and hope, no matter where they come from. In their final years, Nick and Sarah receive letters from people around the world, each one sharing how their story has inspired others to pursue meaningful change in their own lives. One letter, from a young woman in Brazil, tells of how she created a similar hotel in her own city, focused on community outreach and employee empowerment. Another letter, from a businessman in Japan, describes how he overhauled his company's policies to prioritize employee welfare, inspired by the Windsor's example. These stories bring Nick and Sarah immense joy, knowing that their journey has sparked a global movement. On one quiet autumn evening, they sit together on the hotel's rooftop terrace, overlooking the twinkling city lights. They share a sense of peace, knowing that they've left the world a better place than they found it. They reminisce about their early days, the challenges they faced, and the love that helped them grow. Nick, holding Sarah's hand, smiles as he tells her, "If I could do it all again, I wouldn't change a thing." Sarah squeezes his hand, her heart full, knowing that their journey was a testament to love, forgiveness, and the courage to change. In their last years, Nick and Sarah pass surrounded by family, each of their children and grandchildren carrying forward the values they held dear. The family's work continues, evolving to meet new challenges and changing times. The foundation expands its reach, addressing emerging issues and advocating for justice and equity in ways Nick and Sarah would have been proud of. Their legacy becomes more than just a story passed down through family. It becomes a guiding light for others in the world, a reminder that love and compassion can bridge even the deepest divides. The hotel, their original labor of love, continues to stand as a testament to their lives, a place where people find solace, hope, and inspiration. And every visitor who steps through its doors, every employee who finds meaning in their work, and every family that rebuilds their lives through the foundation's support becomes part of the enduring legacy Nick and Sarah created together. Generations later, the story of Nick and Sarah Windsor is still told, not just as a family history, but as a powerful example of what two people, driven by love and a desire to make amends, can accomplish. Their journey becomes a timeless legend, reminding the world that even the greatest wounds can heal, that compassion is a force stronger than any adversity, and that true legacy is built not on wealth or status, but on the lives we touch and the hope we inspire. And so, the legacy of Nick and Sarah Windsor lives on, woven into the lives they touched and the world they changed, forever a testament to the power of love, resilience, and the courage to leave a lasting, meaningful mark on the world. Sitting together on the terrace of their original hotel, now bathed in the soft glow of the evening city lights, Nick and Sarah felt a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. They looked out over the city, watching the life they had helped shape and the world they had changed. They knew their legacy was now firmly rooted not only within the walls of this hotel, but also in the hearts of those who came here seeking comfort, hope, and inspiration. For Nick and Sarah, their journey had been more than a story of love and success. It was a testament to resilience, forgiveness, and the power of compassion to transform lives. They had turned a painful history into a legacy of kindness, and as they held hands, they knew their story would live on, touching countless others for generations to come. In the end, they had found not only love but purpose, leaving behind a world forever changed by their courage to turn past mistakes into a brighter future. And so, their love, their work, and their legacy became an enduring reminder that even the deepest wounds can be healed, and that true legacy is measured not by wealth or status but by the lives we touch and the hope we inspire.